Trends come and go, but the only trend that will always remain to be fashionable is Jesus. With that being said, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Homota, I am the boss lady. And today, this is our very first episode of book reviews. In the very first episode that I did on my channel, I did explain that I'm going to be doing book reviews. So earlier this year, I started a new journey of reading. I used to be those people that never read books, especially if those books are not going to give me marks. And then something ministered in me and spoke to me to say, you have a lot of things in your mind, you have a lot of things in your heart. And some of these things, you are actually not so sure if they are real, if they are true, or if you are overthinking. And what ministered to me deeply is that let me start this journey of reading. So I decided to start reading books and I started, reading only Christian authors, and the very first book that I got, it was a gift from one of the people that I've once worked with previously. Her name is Zwanda. And she gifted me the book Power Moves, which was written by Sarah Jakes. So after reading that book, I never went back and I never returned. And then I just started falling in love with reading books. So today I am going to be doing a book review on one of my favorite books, Disciple Walking with God by Rorisang Thandekiso. Guys, I'm not going to give you too much information of what is inside of this book, but I will just highlight here and there what are the things that stood out for me. And by the way, last week, I think on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, when I was passing by at Bargain Books, I saw that the book was on number 3. And a few days ago, I saw that the book is actually currently running on number 1, which is very well deserved. Guys, if you haven't read this book, please make sure that you get yourself a copy of this book. This is one of the books that you can read time and again. Honestly speaking, you can read this multiple times. I got this book at Exclusive Books and it was 270. I'm not sure how much is it going for at Bargain Books. I'm not sure as to how much is it on takealot.com, but please make sure that, especially for people who are, embarking on a journey of Christianity, I want you to understand that all the things that are happening in your life, they are actually okay to happen to you, because the only thing that these things are doing to you, they are strengthening your faith in Jesus even more. So this book, okay. So let me just start. The first thing that I love, okay, this Disciple Walking with God by Rorisang as told to Kensani Manabe. So I can imagine how, she was feeling sitting down with someone and literally telling someone something that was, something that she lived, which was her life. So on the very first page, there is a small letter written to her late best friend Eva. May her soul continue resting in peace. And then there is, sorry, there is a letter written by her mom and her sister as well. Forward, you see, um, by the sister and the mom, they have written. So the first chapter of this book says, Welcome to my life. Hey, wow, so interesting. So the time that Rory Sang discovered that she's supposed to be a disciple of God, this thing happened to her at a very young age. I'm not so sure if the mother knew that her child was going to grow up to be literally a disciple of God. So in this book, Rory is sharing stories with us that how she was raised, how her mom raised her and her other siblings. So Rory was raised by her mom and her grandmother. She's very, very close to them. So, you know, the things that stood out for me here. So, guys, do you remember when, we were young? We used to have those books we call the music book. You remember that time, yeah, well, Chris Brown and Jordan Sparks? Yes, that time. Rory's mom was like, yay, Wanyana, there is no music book that you're going to have, because those things are literally going to taint your mind. They are going to be giving you fantasies that you're not even supposed to have. I was like, what? It was so interesting because now it makes me go back and to be like, yo, I used to be one of those people that had, these music books. And to think about it, it is actually true because what were we doing with those music books? What were we even understanding about love at that very age? Like, Nedintang, you know, I'm struggling to understand. So Rory has been a very social butterfly from a very young age. Rory skipped Sunday school, believe it or not. Rory skipped Sunday school. She felt like Sunday schooling ngenzela kancane. I want to be in the main church. I guess it was just God speaking to her and ministering to her that you are ahead of the step. You are not one of the people who are chosen to, start there at Sunday school. No. So she would always sneak out, from Sunday school to go into the main church. Until she even got to a point whereby she even stated to be like, I mina angfuni, ngizifuna la. And it was even accepted. So Rory started missionary work at a very young age with her friend. Her life has shown the greatness and the goodness of God. So whenever Rory would come across challenges in her life, her mom will always reference her to, what the Bible says. Whatever challenge and whatever situation that you find yourself going through in life, the mom would always take her back to be like, come back here. This is what is happening. So she lived a life whereby her mom was very close to her. Her mom was, always making sure that her kids are never going astray. So her mom, obviously, the way it looks and the way it seems and it feels, the mom got all these things from her mother as well. This thing took me back to a an interview that I saw yesterday of Cece Wainans in TBN, where she said that she wants to pass on the generational baton. But how do you pass a generational baton if you've never, you know, um, learned it proper? So now this is just a continuation to say, her mom was passing this thing over onto her. It is very true that what we do as as parents, our children are looking up to us. So Rory's mom used to be a person that is able to give other people what she doesn't have, which is absolutely amazing. She would help people from the streets, and she was literally struggling. She was going through a lot financially on her own, but she never said, I will not share the little that I have with other people. So as time went on, Rory as well picked that thing up from her mom. She is one of the people that, goes above and beyond out of her way to help people, irregardless of whatever the situation. Right now, we are living in a country whereby it is literally not safe. I don't want to lie and be like, I'm not one of those people. I am so scared when I see a woman and a child on the street at night waiting. I am so scared to even stop by. But Rory has the courage, the faith, and the conviction to say, whatever that will happen to me will happen. We live in an unsafe world whereby people these days, they use such vulnerable situations to get away with a lot of things. And I believe that this is one of the things that we need to honestly, really and truly pray for, because sometimes people are literally standing there genuinely waiting for help. I don't want to seem across perfect or what, but I always get touched when I see people, especially on the robots. Whatever little coin or whatever thing that I have, I will always give, because it just touches me deeply. Sometimes when I don't have anything, I would rather just have a short prayer to say, God, may you lead these people, to someone that will come and help them out. Another thing that stood out for me as well in this book is that Rory decided to start working at an early age. She decided to do everything, you name it, your schooling, working part-time jobs, just to help her mom to make sure that, they survive. Rory said that they used to live and get clothes 30 second hand. These days now, when you give away your clothes, sometimes you feel like, yo, what if? But honestly, really and truly speaking, there are a lot of people that appreciate whether you've given them something that you've worn multiple times or not. I, for one, I'm one person that loves clothes so much. I buy clothes. Sometimes I wear something once, and then the next time when I come back, it doesn't fit me. So I love giving away because I'm not using this thing. And why am I keeping it? Because I am not using it. So I loved this practice of hers. It was actually very good. Rory went through a lot in life at a very young age, and this was honestly a preparation and a journey leading to her being a fully fledged and fully firm disciple of God. Guys, please make sure that you read this book. Please, please, please. I can go on and on and on for hours, right? And I'm gonna be saying these things as I remember them as they come at the top of my head. And there's another part where I loved is that she was like, let's address this whole issue of virginity. And she said that during her time when she was busy doing her mission work, there was another organization, I forgot the name. In that organization, they gave them purity rings that they should wear. And in that time of wearing those purity rings, she even got into trouble at school for wearing and keeping that purity ring. So when they asked her to be like, why are you wearing a ring? Because you know that it is not allowed to wear jewelry at school. And then she had to explain, she was a troublemaker, but for all the right reasons. I am very proud of her for that. And she had to explain why. It blew her teacher's mind off. And then the teacher was like, you know what? This is actually something that most young girls need to hear. And they put her in front of everyone in assembly and they spoke about that. Mm. And then it was just an inspiration from there. She is not saying that she doesn't want to get married. She is waiting for marriage. And she's been one of the people that have been mocked about choosing to remain pure. We've all seen it in newspapers. We've all seen it when she was in interviews. She even mentioned one of the interviews that, they were asked questions and then she was like, I don't know what to say about this because I've never been in that position because I am still a virgin at this age. It made a whole lot of noise. And for me, it was like, why are we making a whole lot of noise by something that a person chose to do, which is good? Now here's something that Rory is twisting and making us realize. So she's continuously referencing First Timothy 4, verse 12 in throughout her book, and she's busy dissecting this book, or like this Bible verse, why into different series and sections, explaining, are, are what if the purity e go bolediwang ka yona in the book is not the purity that we are thinking of about being a virgin or not being a virgin. Aro, what if? The thing stuck with me because now when you are talking about purity, purity has, so many outlets in it. When you're saying you're being pure, sometimes you can stay pure even if you've already entered into the world of being intimate with other people. Being pure, sometimes it means you just want to stay away from being intimate with other people. You just want to focus on your journey with God. Being pure sometimes is in how we act, how we speak, how we behave. And one of the examples that I can make is that sometimes, why do we find it so hard that when someone says, I do not like what you did to me, and then somehow you feel like, as a person, I want to justify, you know, those are the things. Sometimes it also brings me back to say, when you wake up in the morning, do you wake up and say, have a short prayer to say, Lord, please forgive me for the sins that I've committed, the ones that I know and the ones that I don't know of, you know, and ask for forgiveness? Are we those kind of people? That thing stood out for me. And she also speaks to us young people, to say we are the ones that have a lot of power, in us to do a whole lot of things. So another thing that stood out is when she had to go and leave home, to start a new life, because now we all know that she's been in the entertainment industry from a very young age. So now what stood out for me is that, growing, she never left her values. When she left home, yes, her mom was not happy at all about a child. She was not happy. But she left home with all the values that were taught and instilled in her. That was a true disciple. You can imagine the amount of, noise from the outside where people were dictating what she must do, what she mustn't do. A whole lot of people having opinions on her life, with what is happening. A nice, interesting thing is that as people, we are quick to have opinions on something, we are quick to respond, we are quick to say things, but we actually don't even know where this person started with this journey. It was going to be easy coming from a person if that person was with her from day one, leading to this big age of being 33 years old and choosing to be pure and all of that, right? And she does say, and she's being honest, just be like, I have dated, I have been dating, but she always says, if something does not align with my purpose, then it needs to move out. That cuts deeply. So then she explained that, her friend would feel like, no, there's no time, for our friendship. Things automatically, change as we grow. But one thing I love and respect about her is that even in her growth, she still continued, keeping and moving with her values and moving in one accord with them, which I'm very super proud about. Then there's something that I'm remembering again. Rory says, why is it that now church these days is not church like the olden days when where you go to church, it did not matter what you have or what you don't have. We were all there at church for the same sole reason and purpose, to go and praise and worship God. Now in churches, things have changed, and that thing hit very hard. Now things in churches have changed to a point whereby, if you are someone that is well known, that you most probably are rich or famous, you get a different kind of treatment at church, and people look at you, they give you so much attention to a point whereby you cannot literally be vulnerable in the moment and be in the presence of God. I loved all those things that she was talking about. Guys, this book is worth it. So I can't share this book with anyone because along the way I was highlighting and writing the things that stood out for me. So this is what I'll just read out a few of the things. And the first one is, often as Christians, we think to ourselves, how do I look? Where do I fit in? How can I get a reward? What should we be focusing on is, can people see God in me? Do my actions show it? Do my words show it? Does my mind show it? Are there things that I do that make my neighbor say that, yes, this is a woman of God, before I can even tell them that I am Christian? Hmm. We must aspire to be instantly kingdom people. The Bible says, "You will know them by their fruit." I was like, "What?" You know, and I literally highlighted that, and then I'm seeing another part which is highlighted, and I'm just reading out the things that I highlighted. She says, I put my own comfort aside and focused on helping these people in their time of need. I put my faith and my love into action, choosing to do what I believe Jesus would do. This girl is a true disciple. Another one, it says, examine what's really going on in your heart when you give. Are you giving with a grateful heart? Are you helping the person because they need it and without expecting to glorify yourself? Are you giving with awareness that yourself have been helped before along the way, and you are grateful for it? These things, they stick and stay and minister deeply. That's why I said that this book, you can go back, and read it multiple times. Even her sister did say in her forward letter that this book is a book that you literally keep and read for a very long time. And then there's another passage. She says, we help because we have been helped. We show compassion and empathy because it was first shown to us. Imagine what life would be like if Jesus held back from helping and saving because we were ungrateful. We cannot claim to be more deserving or righteous than the next person. Yeah, imagine. Like, yeah, guys, this book, yo. What I love as well is that in the middle of the book, she shared like pictures, few pictures of when she was growing up. Please buy this book, guys. Like, please, honestly, you know, she shared like a few pictures. It looks so cute because the moment you get halfway through the book and you look at these pictures, it just makes you feel like, oh God, what a masterpiece. Oh God, you've used her, you've made her go through a whole lot of things. This is, her journey growing up, guys. Like, and then, yeah, she shared a few couple of pictures while she was doing a photo shoot. And This book is worth having. This book is worth reading, guys. If you haven't read it, please, please, please make sure that you read it. Guys, I don't want to give you all the details and then you find yourself not purchasing the book. Please make sure that you purchase this book because it is definitely worth it. And that is it from me today with book review. Make sure that you buy this book and make sure that you leave a comment down below. If you have already read the book, what are the interesting things that you came across while reading this book? I'd like to hear what is it that you think, and potentially me and you can inspire other people that haven't read this book. And that is it from me today. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe down below.